Kimmel didn't oversell it. He didn't interrupt. He didn't react. He just played the clip, paused long enough for the discomfort to settle into the room, and then slid the knife in with deadpan precision. How's Caroline doing? Is she doing good? How you doing? Should Caroline be replaced? No. Ha, that's up to you, sir. It'll never happen. Nobody wants to see great job. Thank you, Katie. And those lips, they move like a machine gun, right? The laughter wasn't explosive. It was uneasy. That kind of laugh people make when they recognize something they've seen before and wish they hadn't. Some defenders immediately rushed in to insist this never happened, or that it was harmless, or misunderstood, or taken out of context, which is almost funny on its own. This is a man whose lies often arrive stacked on top of other lies, wobbling like a bad Jenga tower. When the Wall Street Journal broke the story, Kimmel's question cut through every excuse in one swing. Does the White House have HR? The room broke because that's the one thing this White House never plans for an adult in the building whose job is to say, sir, no. That was the real exposure, live on television. Not because Kimmel uncovered a secret, but because he flattened the spin. In 2 beats, he made the power imbalance legible. A 70-something boss publicly objectifying a 20-something subordinate, on government time, aboard a government plane, as if dignity were optional and boundary training were something reserved for interns. Late-night comedy is lethal when it puts nonsense next to normal. Everyone watching understands which side of that split screen they live on. Everyone recognizes the office guy who narrates women's bodies like it's a personality trait. Everyone knows why HR exists, and why it exists precisely for moments like this. To understand why Caroline Leavitt was already a familiar face on television long before Kimmel touched this clip, you have to rewind to an earlier moment. June 24, 2024, live on CNN. Leavitt, then a campaign spokesperson, was asked a straightforward question. Instead of answering, she launched into an attack on the network itself. The performance was aggressive, confrontational, and clearly designed for viral circulation rather than clarity. Anchor Casey Hunt cut her off mid-attack and ended the segment on air. That cutoff ricocheted across morning shows, panels, and social media debates for days. Was it fair? Was it censorship? Is this what political media has become? That clip became Leavitt's origin story in the modern news ecosystem. She wasn't just a messenger, she was a combatant. Someone who treated interviews like cage matches and media appearances like ideological warfare. Now she's the face of the White House briefing room. And the most powerful man in the building can't stop talking about her face. Kimmel didn't invent that storyline. He clarified it. She's not just a spinning machine or a viral talker. She's a young employee being publicly objectified by the man who hired her, and the country is expected to pretend it's charming. This is where Kimmel earns his keep not just as a comedian, but as an editor. The easy move would have been to dunk on Leavitt herself, to replay her CNN clashes, remix her soundbites, and turn her into the punchline. He doesn't take the bait. He aims higher. His target is the rot. When the president suddenly had no comment, his loyalists rushed in to defend him. Kimmel joked that Trump would blame it on Joe Biden's autopen, and for once, he was wrong. That's why the joke works across political lines. You don't have to hate the administration to understand this basic truth. A president praising a subordinate's lips like he's narrating a calendar shoot is not governance. It's a walking HR training video. It also fits a broader Kimmel pattern in 2025, one that's been particularly brutal for Trump. Play the tape. Roll the receipts. Ask one normal world question. After his surprise suspension in September and quick reinstatement, Kimmel came back sharper, less desperate for applause, more obsessed with documentation, calmer than the firestorms around him, which makes the hits land harder. And because Trump can't resist clapping back, each one-liner turns into a 2-day news cycle. Exactly the opposite of what any competent communications shop wants when the boss has just said something wildly inappropriate. That's the quiet power of this moment. It wasn't loud. It wasn't theatrical. It didn't need outrage. It just needed a mirror. And the reflection did the rest.